Today I'm going to go ahead and do a toy room tour with my current collection and the way I've got things set up. My dog's also coming in my bedroom, so you might be able to see her on camera if she decides to come in. First off, just finished this shelf today. I wanted to display some of my Origins mounts and vehicles, so I was able to take some Origins figures off my Origins shelf, which is this direction. We'll get to that soon. Um, so here we have Battle Armor He-Man on the first release Battle Cat. We have Battleground Warriors 2-pack, Battle Cat and Battle Armor He-Man with a different He-Man shield that not He-Man shield, He-Man axe that I damaged myself. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I scratched it up and put a black wash on it. Here's the Cartoon Collection Cringer Atom 2-pack. Hopefully the camera stops being blurry. Back in the back we have Stridor and Fisto. Fisto has a custom painted sword, a silver hand for his left hand, and a Masterverse head. Here we have Jitsu on Vintage Night Stalker. I haven't bought the Mattel Creations one yet, so there's how that looks. In the back we have a Palace Guard on a Sky Sled. We have Mechanic on the Ground Ripper. I have the vintage Road Ripper, and I was going to put my vintage Mechanic on that, but I didn't have room on this shelf. Behind him is another Sky Sled, but with the evil deco, and it has Cronus on it. My camera keeps getting kind of blurry, sorry about that. Here we have the Walmart exclusive Flocked Panther. The flocking is actually quite damaged on this one. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a lot of red marks and scratches on it. It's very easy to damage the flocking on this particular figure. I haven't gotten the regular release Panther yet, but as you can see, I have Battle Armor Skeletor riding atop Panther. Behind that, we have the Roton with Ninjor driving. I feel like Ninjor or Anti-Eternia He-Man would have been the best characters to drive that, unless it's Horde characters, but I didn't want to move any Horde characters, so Ninjor was the final figure that I decided on because he matched the color scheme. Then I have Cartoon Collection 2 Bad driving the Land Shark. Overall, I really like the Land Shark design, and I felt like 2 Bad was a okay choice for that. Down below, we have my Thundercats collection. It's also got some other random stuff in there that I'll point out. So we have, focus, we have the Funko Savage World Panthro, Savage World Tigra. Here we have the Super 7 Vintage inspired He-Man style Lion-O, Super 7 Jackalman, Funko Jackalman, Funko Lion-O, some little He-Man knockoff right here behind Panthro. Vermin something or another from Captain Planet is behind that with the red hat and the black outfit. Moving around to this side, sorry about that. I have another He-Man knockoff right there. Moving back around this post, you can see that I have the Funko Slithe, Mum-Ra, and Monkian. And then the vintage Groon is behind that, along with the vintage Mum-Ra, vintage Vulture Man in the foreground, Panthro in the background. We have the Super 7 Mum-Ra behind this Beastman colored Monkian custom that I'm still working on. I haven't finished painting it, but I already have him on my shelf. Here's some of the details on that. Oh, blurry. Come on, focus. Let me try that again. Back up. Come in slowly. Anyway, I've got his face painted like Beastman's. It's hard to see. Beside that, and kind of behind, we have the vintage Jackalman, and in front of him is the vintage Monkian. We have Raktaro from the vintage line. Orange hair Lion-O. He has his claw glove, but not his sword. And then we have Red Hair Lion-O. He also has his claw glove, but no sword. We have some knockoff figure from, I think, the Ninja Assassins line. He kind of has the Battlematic action from LJN, and he fits in with my Thundercats better than my He-Man figures due to his height. Thundercats figures seem to have some characters that were just taller than average, like Mum-Ra, Lion-O, and Groon, for example. We have the Walrus character from Thundercats. I'm sorry about how blurry this is, and my face keeps going off the other camera. It's hard to keep two things in frame at once. We have the Vintage Slithe, Vintage Cheetara. So blurry. Okay, Vintage Cheetara, Vintage Young Tigra. I want the other Tiger because he looks more like the animated style. In my personal opinion, he looks cooler. I found one, but he was super damaged, and I didn't want to go through the painstaking time that it would take to try to customize him and try to match the paint. We have the Funko Cheetara. Behind Red Hair Lion-O, we have a Mexican bootleg Hero. I didn't put him with my He-Man figures because he's too tall and he just also didn't fit. I have the Cruel Overlord from Black Star. Then in front of him we have Monstar from Silverhawks. We have Kraven from Warrior Beasts with the yellowish, orange, and black color scheme. He's the bird character. We have Mumbo Jumbo with custom horns from Silverhawks. We have John Blackstar himself. Behind that, we have a cat character from Black Star, and we have one of the Ice Castle Palace Guards from Black Star. Here we have the samurai character from Thundercats. I'm not sure what his name is. He has his helmet but no sword, as you can see. I have a custom Mum-Ra, the Ancient figure. Behind that, I used a Trick or Treat Studios Goosebumps Curse of the Mummy figure to customize and make this Mum-Ra. I was going to do a wired cape. If you look at my posts, one of my older posts, you'll see that I said working on a wired cape. I decided to just go with this plastic cape that I sculpted a hood onto and painted. I sculpted the face and then painted some details on the Mum-Ra so that it would look like some skin poking through. Here we have the LJN Mum-Ra. Moving down, we have my Funko and some other mixed-in things collection. Like we have the new Micro Teenies Skeletor on display there. We have the little Battleground Warriors 2-pack non-winged dragon. We have a little Dollar Tree Skeletor, Funko Terraclaws Skeletor, Funko Soda, Tongue Lashor, Funko Pop Night Stalker and Skeletor, He-Man from Funko Pops, King Randor Funko Pop, this little Leonardo also from Funko, not sure what version of the vinyl line it's from, the animated style Funko Pop, not Mum-Ra, Merman, I'm so sorry about that. We have the Funko soda can that Tongue Lashor came in. We have a Funko Pop ornament Battle Armor Skeletor that's way too heavy for any Christmas tree that I found. So I just took the screw top out and just put him with my regular Funko Pops. He balances very well, and he's extremely heavy in comparison to other Funko Pops, even though he's smaller. We have the animation-inspired Beastman, which is funny that the 10-inch version says television because it's obviously inspired by the vintage figure. We'll get to that soon. We have the Micro Teenies Battle Cat and an ornament, Hallmark ornament, He-Man. We have the Leech Funko Pop, Prince Adam, Turtles of Grayskull Funko Pop Leonardo, Turtles of Grayskull Stealth Ninja He-Man, a little pop keychain Ultimate Warrior that I've glued to a penny and took the keychain part off of. Cyclone, my favorite character, hero-wise for He-Man, and the mascot for my channel. Moving over, we have regular Skeletor. Behind that, we have Cobra Khan. We have one of the newer released statue versions of the Funko Pops where they have bases and power effects. I don't remember which version it was, but I got it off of Amazon. There's a lot of new stuff coming out for He-Man and Thundercats, and even some Street Sharks and Biker Mice for Funko Pops. If I was a more, what's it called? Can't think of the word. If I collected more Funko Pops, let's just say it that way, I would totally be going for more of that. But right now, I'm focusing more on Origins. Here we have the Turtles of Grayskull Shredder. We have a little crocheted He-Man that a friend of mine made. She did a decent job. She got all the details: the yellow hair, black eyes, gray harness, red asterisks, reddish boots, reddish loincloth. She even made the sheath. It completely came apart, but that's my fault, not hers. But the sheath for the sword, wrist bracers, everything. She did a really nice job. Wish she would have added a mouth. That would have been nice, but overall, really good job. I'm going to get another Micro Teenies He-Man and put it in the box. But here we have the Micro Teenies He-Man right there, and a little Mega Construx Teela. Moving down below that, we have my largest Blacklight, which I have the cord in the wrong position. We have the 10-inch Retro Toys Trapjaw Funko Pop, 10-inch Retro Toys He-Man Funko Pop, and the Television Beastman, which obviously is inspired by the figure. If you look at the details like the fur, the face style, the whip, the wrist bracers, and even the loincloth and belt are not animated style. So that's interesting. I don't know if I mentioned having the 10-inch Skeletor back there, but I'm sure you guys saw that. Let's move to the other side of the room. Above that, we have my catch-all shelf. It was going to be my Biker Mice display, but right now I don't have enough figures for that. But I have this little eating tray thing from the 90s. It's kind of interesting that if you look at the robotic arm for Moto, it's on the wrong side, and all the tattoos are on the wrong side. It's like a mirrored image if you compare it to the figures. So that's interesting. Here we have my extremely messy Superman shelf. Here we have some Ultraman, several different Superman figures, mainly from McFarlane, but there's some classics in there. Most of them are multiverse, but here we have a McFarlane figure too that's from the Batman series. We have tons of different McFarlane ones, like I said. Moving down the line. I still intend to do a review on the David Cornsweat Superman, even though the movie was absolutely horrible. I still haven't bought the other two Cornsweat Superman figures. I found both of them, but didn't have the cash on hand the day I found them. And there's a DC Direct Deceased Superman, which is basically DC's version of the Marvel Zombies. Moving down, we have some other Superman stuff. Oh, hold on just one second. I gotta fix something. Alright, I'm back. Here I have my Herald of Galactus. Can't remember the name of this character, but absolutely love him from the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four animated series line. Here we have the Human Torch. I have a Shadow Weaver fire effect on one hand and the cannonball lower half turned upside down for him to fly in. We have the Demon from DC Multiverse, both versions of the Rise of the Black Adam figure, the sketch one and the full color. We have the DC Digital Series Flash with the translucent glittery legs. We have, can't think of his name, that fire character that I showed off in one of my recent videos. Or not recent, but more recent than old, I guess is what I could say. I got him from the Bargain Shop. So in my Bargain Shop video, you should find the name for that character, unless you already know. The guy with the fire hair and the golden face. Some more Superman figures from Mattel's DC Multiverse and DC Universe and stuff like that. Some Movie Masters, Spin Master, David Cornsweat Superman, some more McFarlane stuff, DC Direct, just random Superman and Supergirl stuff. Even some children's lines that I don't actually collect, but I just have in my collection because I do. And below that we have some autographed photos that I need to find a place for from when I met WWE wrestler The Boogeyman. Here we have a donut display case that actually fits Ninja Turtles figures and can even fit Origins figures if you move them to the front row. And go back by height. Like, the shorter the figures are, the farther back in the case they need to be. The taller the figures, the closer to the front they need to be, because it's slanted shelves. I was going to display some stuff in that, and I still might if I ever find a place for it, but right now I don't have a place. Here's what I do with my packaging until I get totes to store them. I just stack them neatly in one corner, and it actually looks pretty decent. It's not very cluttered or anything, as long as you stack stuff properly. Here on my closet door, I just have a Ninja Turtles poster from Hobby Lobby. Moving over to the next wall, I have some artwork of my own. I just hit my head. Please don't judge. It's supposed to be animated cartoon style, and it's supposed to kind of be like comic book strip from like newspapers and animated at the same time. The Beastman doesn't exactly fit the style, but I still like the result. Trapjaw, and then Merman. Moving to the first shelf because it's the lowest one, we have my Stranger Things crossover Demogorgon, a new 10-inch Demogorgon from GameStop. San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Badra, sorry. Badra's the purple one. Here we have Vecna with the Motu Classics Drago Man sword. We have a little custom Orange Goblin character that uses Ninja Turtles and He-Man parts, Whiplash head, Rocksteady upper body, Triceraton lower legs. We have a custom King Corona, as I like to call him. It's, in my mind, this is a evil version of Sunman. It's actually his father. And at first, when they meet up, supposedly he's a good guy, and he's happy to see him. And that Sunman's basically a prince in my imaginary universe. And King Corona's actually a villain, and he works with Pighead. So he's just got some Clamp Champ parts, some of the yellow Beastman armor parts from the Mossman pack, Marvel Legends Loki little collar piece, and a staff from Origins Whiplash that broke on Christmas Day. Very disappointing about that. My very first Whiplash figure broke on Christmas Day. 2 people had actually got me one, and when I found out that somebody had got me one and I already had it, I told them to cancel their order, and then my figure broke the day I opened it on Christmas or whatever, but the other order had already been canceled, so now I still do not have an Origins Whiplash. Very disappointed about that. Cartoon Collection Faker, Cartoon Collection Spycore, Origins Spycore, Cartoon Collection Clawful, Turtles of Grayskull Merman, Rulers of the Sun Pighead, Turtles of Grayskull Skella Shredder, Shredderized version with the Ultron style head, Masters of the WWE Kane, a custom Mythic Legions / Origins / Masterverse / a ton of Spawn accessories and stuff, custom, doesn't have a name yet. If Shadow Beast wasn't already taken for the Shadow Beasts, I would name him Shadow Beast, and I still might, because it doesn't really matter. It's not copyrighted. It's not a copyrighted custom or anything, so I'm not going to actually try to sell it, so I can name it whatever the heck I want. Origins Clawful with a vintage head and vintage armor that I customized to fit. Origins Web Store with the Okeatis arms drilled into the back, which when I did so, I accidentally caught the string that goes to the backpack and pulled the string out, so now he does not have the action feature anymore. We have the Okeatis figure from Mythic Legions behind that. We have the Cartoon Collection Web Store beside that. We have Tuvar, the blue one's Tuvar, from the SDCC 2/3 pack, or 2 figures plus build half a figure pack, or whatever you want to call that. We have the Trapjaw figure. I drew eyebrows on him because Trapjaw's supposed to have eyebrows. We have Evil Lyn with a accessory from Invisible Woman. We have Turtles of Grayskull Mousejaw, or Mouse Trap, as I would rather call it. We have the Cartoon Collection Whiplash, a customized Barbarian Skeletor. Bug just flew in my face. We have a custom Terraclaws Faker, Dragon Blaster Skeletor, and here is Terraclaws Skeletor. We have Snake Armor Skeletor, 2000X Skeletor, Cartoon Collection Evil Lyn, second release Origin Skeletor, the Transformers Megatron Skeletor, or Skeletron as I prefer to call it, or even Megator, but both of those names are already taken. Megator, of course, being the giant from He-Man that was released overseas only in the 80s line for the Powers of Grayskull series, and then Skeletron being a modern toy line that's based off some sort of vintage ties that I don't really know 100% about. We have the Keldor and Cronus 2-pack Skeletor on the Keldor body, or Skeletor head on the Keldor body. The head came in the pack, and I prefer to display the Skeletor head. Let's focus here. Here we have the first release Skeletor beside the Turtles of Grayskull Skeletor and a slightly customized Skelra. If you look at my Skelra video, you'll see that I compare the actual released head with my customized head. I customized the head to match the artwork on the back of the Skelra packaging. He has red eyes with very tiny black dots on the packaging, so I customized mine to look like that. We have Invisible Skeletor, who is not invisible, obviously, but doesn't want to focus on camera. We have Skella Shredder in the Skeletor form. We have TOG Krang, Cartoon Collection Skeletor, Stranger Things Skeletor, Mum-Ra from Thundercats crossover. We have Anti-Eternia He-Man based off the German audio plays. We have a regular Faker with one of the armors from the Too Bad pack. Camera's still not focusing, but as you can see through the blur, we have Shredder, and we have a little character called Crabapult from Mutant Mayhem's subline, whichever one it was. I don't remember. They did so many sublines. We have Stinkor. We have the more evil-looking Mossman variant that you can make based off the pack that you get. So I keep him with my villains as if he's a green, evil Beastman. We have regular Beastman with the Turtles of Grayskull head sculpt because it has better face paint. Looks cooler in my opinion. We have Scareglow. My Scareglow actually has a broken knee. Fell off a dresser when I was at the beach and broke right after I'd got him, but I managed to glue it in place. Still have not found a regular Scareglow to replace that. And as soon as I do, I'm ripping this guy's arm off because I need his arm for a custom right now. And I'll just replace him with a new one. Lords of Power LOP Beastman. There's my dog, just got up behind me. Hey, don't lay on me. We have the Scar King from King Kong, X-Godzilla, the New Empire, whatever. I think that's what it's called. Geldor, 2000X Evil Lyn. So glad we're getting an actual 2000X Evil Lyn because this one absolutely stinks. Triclops, TOG Beastman with the regular Beastman head underneath because you never see it anyway. TOG Mutated He-Man, Merman, LOP Merman, CC Merman, and Range Brachion and Triax Skyver from Sorzoic Warriors. And as you can see, I have a gap here, so I can obviously fit more figures. The collection can still expand. Hooray! Moving up, we have my Snake Man collection. Frogmonger looks more like a Snake Man in my opinion with his teeth. And Snake Men were basically just like different amphibians and reptiles anyway to begin with. So I just put the Snake Invasion version of the Palace Guard staff on his hand, and then I put King Hiss beside that. Here's the, what's his name? Fang Or, and then the Infiltrator Fang Man. That's all that I could think of when I was trying to say Fang Or. Necroconda. He's on a flight stand. If you pay attention to the packaging, he can fly. And if you watch the stop motion from Mattel, he can fly. Therefore, I put him on a flight stand. Here is Snakeface, my least favorite Snake Man. Squeeze, one of my favorite Snake Men. Snake Teela, really like this version of Teela. Crush, which is just a custom brother of Squeeze. Crush and Squeeze, I mean, that's what I use some of the Whiplash parts on because Whiplash broke, like I said. Terror with King Kiss Shield. Cobra Khan, not technically a Snake Man, but more like a descendant. Ratlore, TOG Ratlore with vintage King Kiss staff, and Tongue Lash Sword for Origins. Moving over, we have a gap between my Snake Man and Horde figures. Here we have Sting Ore, not to be confused with Stink Ore. And it's kind of interesting that in the comic book that comes with Stingor is the character that's working for Stingor. So Stinkor. It's kind of hard to say them without getting confused. And if somebody else is saying it and you're not really following the conversation, it'd be very hard to understand what they're saying. And you would probably think of Stinkor because he's a more popular character that's been around since the 80s. Here is the Snake Trooper. Not Snake Trooper. I don't have a Snake Trooper. Horde Trooper. Here is Voltac from Cartoon Collection and Mattel Creations exclusive. Shadow Weaver, Cartoon Collection. Another Horde Trooper. The Infinity Saga Surtur. It's the only shelf he would fit on, so I put him with my Horde. Here is the Hordak custom that I made using the Kane figure from the Motu crossover with WWE. And he just uses the Buzzsaw figure as the base. So this is my custom Buzzsaw Hordak. There's the little zoo character trapping robot from Voltac. The sketch head from the what's the name? One moment. From the Hurricane Hordak. It's the sketch head that came with the Hurricane Hordak on the Hurricane Hordak body. We have the New Eternia Horde Trooper. He's mainly over here because he doesn't fit on my other shelf, but also because I think he looks cooler with Origins than Masterverse. Here we have Leech, the little CGI robot that came with the Skeletor He-Man 2-pack that was just basically the same figures with slight modifications, like He-Man had yellow painted tattoos, and Skeletor had a translucent arm and a translucent staff on one side for that. But that's the robot that came with that. Here we have Mantenna Cartoon Collection with some sort of weapon that I found. Cartoon Collection Leech, Cartoon Collection Grizzlor with Shredder's Horde crossbow. Here we have the CGI Hordak, the second release of Grizzlor, not the 5-pack one. And he was also sold 3 separate times on Mattel Creations. They had the initial sale, then they had another sale that you had to wait like 2 years to actually get the figure after you ordered it, and then they had like one last final sale when they supposedly found other figures during a holiday season or something like that. It was weird. But I think it's just like the first release. I didn't pick it up off Mattel Creations. Here we have a Mosquitor, Pixel Dan's favorite character, and I put custom wings on mine from a mutant Loki figure. A little children's toy, had a cool action feature, ripped its wings off, cut his arms off, and I'm using different parts for customs. Speaking of customs, here's a custom What If Trapjaw joined the Horde after becoming Trapjaw instead of joining the Horde when he was Cronus. So he's based off of a Horde Trooper color scheme with the silvers and blacks. I made sure to match that the best I could with his different arms and stuff. And I sculpted eyebrows myself with clay and painted them. Painted his eyes to kind of look more like the Cartoon Collection Trapjaw eyes. Here we have regular Mantenna. Speaking of Cronus, since he was part of the Horde, I decided to customize a Cronus to look more like a Horde member than just a regular Cronus figure. Here's a custom Horde character that I just call Class Bar. I used WWE crossover Rey Mysterio parts and WWE crossover Macho Man Randy Savage parts, along with Origins Clawful and Origins Mosquitor Spare Head. To make that character, we have Sketchbook Series Hordak with an Anti-Eternia He-Man axe and the blast effect from the Sky Sled. We have Sketchbook Series Grizzlord. In my opinion, it's not Grizzlord at all, but whatever. CGI Mosquitra or Mosquitra with TOG Hordak wings. Hordak custom, slightly customized, has a cartoon collection loincloth, Beastman feet painted because I don't like the duck feet on Hordak, and then a custom cyborg arm that I drilled out to make the cannon arm, and then of course TOG Hordak and a custom painted Horde Trooper that I kind of overdid it with the black on, and then a He-Man pin. Seeing as how long this video already is, I'm not going to say every character. I'm just going to move through, and you guys can figure out who the characters are yourself. Hopefully I go slow enough for you guys. I have some characters thumbtacked onto the wall. Their wings are just hooked onto thumbtacks. They're not actually through the wings or anything. It is worth mentioning that I have the Bumblebee Man-at-Arms right there. Moving down the line, you can see a lot of different mixed characters like Cartoon Collection and regular Origins. I'm stepping on my bed, so the sound's going to be a little bit creaky, so sorry about that. We have X-Men 97 Wolverine in there as well. I also have another Wolverine. And we have Jada Toys Ken. Thundercats figures just released shorts about those. And the He-Man also has a short with the Demogorgon biting his head as the thumbnail, so check that out. Moving down the line, more Sorzoic Warriors characters. That's actually a good character, that's why he's there. Moving up, Street Sharks. Turtles of Grayskull and other Turtles characters, custom character there. Moto. Oh my goodness, I hate that sound. Sorry about that if the audio is bad. And then my wrestlers are there. 7-inch wall, and some 8-inch figures too. Mainly Masterverse, some other things sprinkled in, as you can see. I intend to do a review, but I'm not doing very good with my reviews right now on some of these Masterverse figures. A lot of characters I just now got to that have been out for years. Probably won't review those. Might do a short for those though. Hopefully I'm not moving too fast. I'm trying to wrap this thing up. Down below we have just some random mixed in characters. CGI, Bendham's, Flex Stream or whatever. 2000X. More CGI. Moving down my random shelf. It's got some Toy Biz, Power Rangers, and other knockoffs and rip-offs of Ninja Turtles along with regular Ninja Turtles characters. Toxic Crusaders are in there, Stone Protectors, Earthworm Jim, Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks, Cowboys and Moo Mesa were in there. Down below we have my custom Iron Man, and then a knockoff Iron Man and a He-Man style Hulkbuster. Some more Funko stuff from different He-Man style lines they did. Other random stuff. Some customs. Troll Force, Troll Warriors, stuff like that. Last two shelves, we have the vintage He-Man stuff. And some bootlegs. And then above that we have Conan the Adventurer, Gargoyles, Brooklyn, Chuck Norris figures, Rambo figures, some random Troll figures, Warlords figures, another He-Man character, knockoff figure, knockoff / bootleg, AWA wrestlers will end us off for the day. So, oh, also I have my customizing desk, which is really messy right now, but I'm working on a Warrior Beast style custom right here. And then I also had to create a dollhouse. Well, it's not a dollhouse, it's a diorama of a bedroom that kind of looks like a dollhouse for one of my projects for high school. And then I have the other Funko figures here. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you guys on the channel. Comments and stuff like that would be great. I like to read your comments and reply when possible. As you can see, I also have some packaged stuff up here, mainly cars and reaction, and then a Thundercats 3D printed light. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.